Can one man effect change so great that his mission continues unabated for almost 400 years?
The mission of Vincent de Paul was one that is absolutely clear and was absolutely simple. His mission was to serve. His mission was to provide service that empowered. His mission was to provide service that liberated, and that service was provided to human beings, to people whom he recognized as being his brothers and sisters. It was also provided to communities, because communities are made up of human beings, and you can't liberate human beings, you can't empower human beings without empowering and liberating the communities that they're a part of. And so DePaul University continues that mission of service, that mission of empowerment, that mission of liberation as an institution of higher education, in the education that we provide our students, and in the role that we play as an educational institution and through our students in using education to empower and change society itself.
And nowhere is the mission more alive than at the Irwin W. Stein Center for Community-Based Service Learning at DePaul, where students address the critical issues of poverty and isolation affecting Chicago's communities and residents daily.
Some of the most critical work that we've done as an institution is around mission, and more than a whole lot of other organizations that I've come across, we've driven that conversation about mission. It keeps people engaged, and it's the lifeblood of this place, and it's a driving force.
Born the son of a poor farmer in Puy, France in 1581, Vincent always knew he was destined for a higher calling. Through his compassion, connections, and exemplary leadership skills, he was able to mobilize others in his fight against poverty and inhumanity. Oftentimes referred to as the father of organized charity in France, St. Vincent challenged the status quo of his day by responding to contemporary problems with long-term, systematic solutions.
He saw the individual human person as being, of course, being made in the image and likeness of God, and from that perspective, having a right to be treated in that way, a right to be treated with dignity, a right to be treated with respect, a right to have the basic needs of a human person be met, whether it's housing or food or shelter or clothing or any of those issues. And Vincent had this vision because he looked at the world around him, and he compared what he saw with his own eyes and what he experienced in his own life. He compared what he saw with the vision that he had of the way that he thought the world should be.
He could bring together the wealthy. He could bring together political figures. He could work with church figures. He was one of those people who was comfortable in all different sectors of society. And not only did they know him, but he knew them. And he could walk in and he could pull people together around a project and say, let's try to change the social structures in some way that people's lives are made better.
Founded by the Vincentians in 1898, DePaul University is a unique Vincentian, urban, and Catholic university committed to fulfilling the mission of St. Vincent.
Each quarter, nearly 1,000 students that are out serving all over the city of Chicago. And whether that's tutoring in schools where that particular population of students need tutoring, to working in women's shelters, to whatever it might be, whatever the need of the community is, that's 1,000 bodies that are sent forward. There's a real difference in the city of Chicago because DePaul University's heart says, let's not just build our own future, let's see if we can make a difference. And so I think DePaul University is something that Vincent would be proud of for that.
Vincent would certainly be proud of the work being done through DePaul's School for New Learning, where Professor Ann Folwell Stanford founded the Women Writing and Incarceration Project. Students teach poetry writing to female inmates in jails and prisons throughout Illinois, a true testament to mission in action.
One of the things that I have always consistently said about being at DePaul is that we have so much freedom to do the kind of work that fires us. And again, with St. Vincent, I think it was that fire. And that to be allowed to take that fire and translate it into action is, I think, a huge gift. And maybe things begin to change. I'm not an idealist when it comes to this. I understand how hard it is to change the system, but I think that one way to do that is to have voices speak for themselves.